Now, in Palm Beach, Florida, the big question right now, will defendant Timothy Ferreter be one of the 3 lay witnesses that the defense expects to call as part of their case? Remember, he turned down a plea deal offer from prosecutors for 2 years in prison and a 5-year probation. Now he faces 40 years behind bars if he is convicted. Right now, court is on a short break, but still with us is West Coast trial lawyer Ron Zambrano. First question to you, right out the gate there. What do you think? Is he going to take the stand?
I think he better take the stand in order to soften what the jury is going to go wild with his motivations. If he doesn't take the stand, the prosecution can make the narrative, put it in his head, and it's not very hard. I mean, listening to this poor kid, he's lost any agency. Clearly, Mr. Ferreter is just trying to impose control. He has to explain that to get a shot, because the jury's just going to be, I'm sure the jury's just mad at him and wondering why you're doing this. And I think he should explain it the best way he can. It's totally a risk, but I think it's the best way to reduce or get out of this very big bullseye that's on him.
Big bullseye and a big risk, as you alluded to there. We all know that. Usually, experts like yourself say, don't go on the stand. So explain to me how you would be prepping him to take the stand.
I would prep him first. Listen, you have to come from a place of you were trying to do the right thing, 1. 2, that you were not trying to necessarily hurt this young man, this alleged victim. And then the 3 is like that he has to explain why he's doing this. Maybe he went through his own trouble. Maybe his father did worse to him, which I think would help this. But yes, it's absolutely a big risk. But his own words through this Ring video that he put up is not coming back at him. And he really should explain this to give him the best shot, in my opinion.
Well, I think that there's going to be a lot more videos that are going to be played for this jury in that defense. And we're looking at aggravated child abuse, false imprisonment, child neglect. That adds up to 40 years. He turned down that plea deal of just 2 years behind bars. Yeah, look at him inside that box that he made. Why would someone turn down a plea deal that seems so sweet compared to the max that he's facing now? What do you think we might see? What do they have?
Really, I think it's a principle thing. He probably is so principled, which is why he did what he did with his son. The way he speaks to him, it's very, there's a structure, militant structure, and I think he believes he did the right thing. Like, I didn't do anything wrong, and that. He better listen to his attorney. He's going, listen, you better be open to the possibility you might have made a mistake. Because if he shows no remorse, which is kind of what we're watching as he's so stoic, it can go really bad for him.
And you know who I thought did really well on the stand was the child at the center of all of this. I want to get your reaction on the other side of a bit of his testimony. Take a listen.
Did you like being in that room?
No.
Did you want to be in the room?
No.
How did it make you feel?
To me, being locked in a room, it's dehumanizing. It's almost as bad as genocide. It's saddening to abuse a child that was just acting like a child, never thinking of what an adult would think to do to a child that would succumb his or her efforts in daily life to succeed, suffering from emotional pain, suffering, trauma.
A lot of trauma and a lot of abuse. Not only what we're hearing, which is the verbal abuse that is just relentless, and the accusations and the nonstop worst words that you can use towards a child. But this is a 14-year-old kid at the time who just wanted love. He was adopted.
Right. It's so powerful and he doesn't come off as someone who, can pop off or is unstable. He comes off like, I don't want to go back in there. And he told initially the police, I just don't feel loved. He wants some agency. And again, with him yelling, we all heard that, this blood-curdling scream. I think he's yelling because he just can't control anything of his day-to-day life existence at home. And who can blame him? It's terrible.
It's terrible. And The bit of testimony that keeps replaying in my mind and that really got me was when he said that he doesn't hold it against his parents. Take a listen.
Do you think it's hard to think of good memories when everyone around you has a bad image of Tim and Tracy in their mind?
I can easily recall the good times, but I don't have a bad image of Tim and Tracy. They just made a mistake. They just acting out of frantic surprise of my actions. They weren't. I believe that they weren't trying to do any harm.
Yeah.
I believe that people should recognize that that was a mistake and forgive them and move on.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely heart-wrenching there. What are you watching for, Ron, as this trial progresses?
Well, the first thing I want to know what people outside the home are going to say about him. You know, how was he at school? What do counselors think at school? Because supposedly that's what the parents said. You know, we tried school, nothing was working. I would, for other friends, maybe other schoolmates, to try to see if this young man really was so dangerous that the only thing to keep everyone else safe, because that's the only way to get out of this. We were doing this to keep everyone else safe, not to harm it, but to keep everyone else safe.
Less than 30 seconds. Do you think that the state will get a guilty here?
Oh, 100%. I think so. This Ring camera has come back to bite Mr. Ferreter in the place where he probably regrets having somebody do the room and also the video.
Ron, thank you. Thank you for your time. And that's going to end my time here. Wishing you a happy Friday. Up next.